Said, over to you.
Hello, Chidera. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today?
Morning.
Yeah. So just a quick recap of what we did last class. We're just basically trying to break down what investment is, the myth behind investment. At what age do I start investing? Am I too old to start investing? Am I too young? I don't have enough money to invest. How much is this threshold I need to invest, right? Then also, how do I even know where to start from? So we spoke about the 50, 20, 30 rule, where we said, okay, gather all your source of income, identify it, then you break it into 50, 30, 20. So 50% is for your needs, 30% is for wants, and 20% is for investment, right? Basically. But then we went ahead to say it's advisable to save what is left after investing, not the other way around, to invest after you spend. I remember I was saying that. Then we try to identify um, types of investments based on your risk appetite. How risky are they for me? And also the entry barrier. How much do I need to get into this? I recall we spoke about mutual funds, which is like the safest or the least risk averse, right? How we made an example using pizza. I don't have to dish out a 10K or 15K to buy pizza. I can get friends to contribute and we'll buy different flavors of pizza, meaning I'm actually eating pizza and I can afford other flavors without actually breaking the bank to afford it. Also, we spoke about long-term savings. If your saving horizon is long-term, then you should look more into equities and bonds and the likes. If it's short-term, 1 year or less than 1 year, you can look at money market funds and the likes. Basically, I know we hinted on the risk, but risk and investment is a topic on its own, and we've ensured to curate a class to handle just to speak about risk. So after that recap, right, now I know what investment is, how to invest, when to invest, and where to invest. Vested will end this, right? Oh, I'm actually throwing bars this morning. That's cool. Yeah, then back to the business of the day. So we actually want to talk about budgeting. Budgeting is actually, to me personally, I think is the foundation is a foundation that sets the direction for your investment, how fast it grow, right? How quickly you're able to build your portfolio is it's all based on budget. So budget in simple term, if you ask me, right, is just knowing where your money goes, where it comes from and where it's going to. And for those just joining us for this week, I'm actually sharing my screen, so I may not be able to see when you have your hands up. So you can take the floor at any time. Just call my attention if you have a question so we can handle. Right. So like I said earlier, budgeting is just following your money trail. When it came in, when it went out, where did it go to? Is it sitting there? Is it doing some form of work for me? So when you're able to track to every kobo where your money goes to, then at a glance, you already know, okay, this is it for this month. So I give you an example. You don't make budget for food, for instance, right? And we know how tiring 9 to 5 can be. So every evening you stop over at a fast food joint or a favorite restaurant and you dine out. Of course, you've worked so hard. You deserve to replenish, right? But you just keep eating. And at the month, I'm sure if you check into your savings, you'll have eaten a lot. But if you told yourself consciously, okay, my budget for feeding based on, I don't know, what you eat. Hello, is someone saying something?
I've been.
Hello, can I
Hi,
continue?
please. Not speaking. Can you mute your mic? Please mute your mic so that we don't get distracted.
I've not checked it anyway. I saw
Side, go on. We'll just mute them from our end.
Oh, okay. So like I was saying, so the human mind is so vast that it tells you, yes, you're nourishing yourself. You need to eat. That's why you work for your money. But you keep buying and buying without having a budget. So by the time you check your bank account, I don't know, depending on your taste or your level, you see maybe this month I clocked 100,000 for feeding, the other month 130, subsequent month 80. So it keeps fluctuating. So if someone should ask, so can you kind of just give me a figure how much you spend in a month for feeding? there will be a pause. Oh, last month I did like 90, I think, or 100 of this, right? And that is applicable to every other thing. How much do we spend on our subscription services? Netflix, Amazon Prime, data, airtime, utility like AEDC, PHCN rather, fuel for car, cleaning services and all that. You just spend and there's no range. So what it happens is it's like you have a tap that's open perpetually. Eventually that water will run out, right? But the idea of budgeting is for you to know when it is enough and you can shut that tap. So for example, I said based on my income, I said, okay, my feeding for a month, I'm going to allocate 80K for feeding, roughly 20K every week, right? So because I have a budget and I track it, I can decide to eat 80K in one day. Maybe I go out with friends, I get excited, swipe my card, 80K is done. So ideally, if you want to be disciplined in your budget, is for food, this is all I can apportion and it's gone. So what the idea now is I need to eat before the month ends, right? Nobody's saying you won't eat. So what it means is you go to the next batch. How much did I apportion for entertainment? Entertainment is 50,000. Now I blew up my feeding allowance in one day to say in the budget, and I need to recoup. There's no extra place to take that money. So do I need to cut down my entertainment? Okay, because I ate the fund I apportioned to feeding. Does that mean I have to skip Netflix or Amazon Prime? Do I skip laundry and ironing myself just so I can recoup that fund and plug it back into feeding? So this way, you already know what fund is going where. And, over time, you build the discipline that you don't even need to check your tracker, but subconsciously, you already know where these funds are going to, right? Then just to buttress the importance of budgeting, right? It facilitates financial discipline. I know when to stop, right? I'll give my favorite example I like to give is black tax, right? So black tax is synonymous with urgent 2K. My guy defined urgent 2K. Or, oh, I need to send something to someone or someone called me, they have a need and all that. All is classified under black tax, either formal or informal. It's a whole discussion on its own, right? But you get the scope, or rather what I'm trying to explain. So the good thing about it is somebody asks you for 5,000 naira. You compare this 5,000 against your total income. I'm like, 5,000 is nothing. I earn 1 million. I'm a big boy. Take 5K. Oh, somebody needs 20K. Oh, no problem. Take a 20K compared to 1M is still big, right? So the idea is you have 20K here, 5K here, 50K there. At the end of the month, when you take the total sum, in some cases, you might spend 50% of your income for that month on black tax, right? And you have other things to do. Remember, we said 50% for needs, 30 for wants, and 20 for investment. Now you've spent 50% on black tax in quotes. How do you want to budget for your needs? So definitely if you take 50% for needs, meaning that month you're not making provision for wants and investing, right? But by budgeting, you create financial discipline and you know when it is enough. Oh, my quota for black tax or for giving or for miscellaneous this month is 100,000. I have hit 100,000, no more. If somebody comes to me or I have a need, if it's not pressing or urgent, can I shift it to the next month so my budget can accommodate it? Of course, you push it. Can I push it to the next 2 months to fix it if it's not, it's not detrimental and stuff? So you keep like that. So the idea is by the time you build that financial discipline, then it's easier for you to now channel the excess to investment. That is one. Then it helps you to make informed decision and prioritize your investment. Oh, my house rent is due in a year. If I know I'm paying this rent in a year, do I start paying for it monthly? Do I have a special account kind of where I keep this funds? It's easy, just walk backwards. Or let me use, for the sake of argument, let me use 1.2 million, meaning my house rent is 100,000 every month. So when I receive my pay, or if I do business, once I get returns from my business, do I wait till December and take out this 1.2 million from wherever it is and pay the landlord? Or for certainty, should I take this 100,000 every month, put it in some of investment to earn me a little something? That little something can go into paying your DSTV bills or 2 or 3 months Netflix. So the idea about budgeting is it's helping you manage your money. You're cutting from here, patching here, and making more. So if I decide to budget for my house rent every month, aside from sleep well money, the way Chira likes to say it, your landlord sends you a WhatsApp broadcast, you just smile and repair and use your funniest smiley and respond. But of course, if you know the money is not on ground, then that's where you start sending him prayer message, some kind of broadcast, health and wellness stuff, But that's on a lighter note. Then it helps you track your spending pattern. Where is all my money going to? Oh, I spend too much on clothing. I need to cut down. So do I need to recycle more? Maybe I wear one shirt in a month. So I need to start wearing that same shirt twice in a month. Or shoes. I buy a lot of shoes. Do I need to stop buying should I need to stop buying shoes and focus on buying shirts? Or do I need to just cut it out completely for a month or two? Save the money? Or do I use all my money for data and airtime? Or do I use it all for utilities? I'm paying NEPA, I'm servicing my vehicle, I'm buying gas for the house and all of that. So by the time you're able to identify the pattern, it even helps you to know because you track to the T by the time you build the discipline. Oh, I have 300 units of power. It's going to take me 3 weeks. So by the third week, mentally, because you're tracking, you already know when to make provision to buy the next one. So you're not kind of in the middle of watching a show, your favorite show, and power goes off, or it goes off middle of the night. And this third-party app sometimes is when you need them most, you don't get a response. Then if it's for your gas or other form of utility, you already make a mental note. This is how much I've allocated, and this is when this bill is due, right? I said that's one advantage of budgeting. Then it supports the creation of emergency fund. If you go to a financial analyst, the template, or should I say the blueprint or the template for creating emergency fund, especially for we that work 9 to 5, is to have your 4 months salary saved up, your 4 months monthly expense saved up. So the idea is anything should go wrong, you can't walk. Like when COVID came and a lot of us we got caught unaware, right? So if you've saved for 4 months, the idea is you live comfortably for 4 months while you're trying to maybe get another job, maybe it's health issue, while you're waiting to recuperate and other things like that. But the only way you can save the excess is even when you know where the real money is going to. So where am I cutting off from? So the idea, Sha, in general, to just conclude so I don't bore, is you're able to identify strongly the difference between your wants and your need. And if you identify that confluence point, then the difference is what you put into investment, right? Then key steps to budgeting. But I pause now, right? If we have any questions, I'll take it before I proceed. Okay, then I think it's safe to proceed. So the first step is you need to determine your financial goal. The idea about goal psychology is it drives us, it encourages us. Oh, next 1 year, I need to get my dream car. Awesome. That is the goal. How do I achieve this? You need to clearly define it. Oh, these are all my source of income. How much can I take without compromising my lifestyle, right? To get this my dream car I have. Are you saving to purchase a property, your dream house? Are you saving for retirement? So you need to identify short-term goal, long-term goal. So that way you're able to allocate resources. And the key word here is without compromising your quality of life. I don't want instance where everything goes into investments and you can't feed. Then in that case, I'll say it's penny wise pound foolish, because when the health implication comes, there's tendency will touch that investment, take it to the hospital to sort it out and whatever. So the idea is you creating a balance. Then you need to assess your income and expenses. How much do I earn every month? How much do I earn quarterly? What is my annual salary if you want to go long term and try to break it down against your expenses? Because the leftover is just income minus expense. Whatever you have left is what you channel into investing. Analyze and categorize expenses into essentials: housing, clothing, food, entertainment, vacations. We'll get there. We have a template we'll be working with, right? Then please create a realistic budget. So I know my data need is average of 10 gig every month, meaning for a month I need 40 gig. And my budget for data is 20 gig. So already I know my budget is not realistic. It won't cover to the norm, except I have a plan on how to cut down my data consumption from 40 gig to 20 gig. I'm trying to go back to utility that's close to home. I know my gas sells for 13,000 for a 10 kg. And when I'm making budget, I say, oh, gas this month is 8,000. How? Are you going to cut down on the usage of the gas for cooking or whatever you use it for? For my fuel, I do full tank. It takes me 2 weeks. Awesome. So for fuel now, I'm going to do half tank. But will it give you the same mileage? So you need to be realistic on your budget, right? So I usually just say, I advise, take your current lifestyle. How much have I spent so far? Last month, how much did I spend on food? If you can't remember everything, no problem. How much did I spend on clothing, laundry services, utility, health, and all that? Try to recall and write it down. For the next month, try to write it down. When you have 3 months worth of data, then you can take an average and say confidently, I spend 100,000 on groceries. I spend 100,000 on feeding. Oh, I spent 60,000 on fueling my vehicle and maintenance, so it helps you to know, okay, this is a realistic budget. Do I need to cut down on this budget? So I need everything here. Or I can just take as is. I have excess to invest or to save, right? Then track and monitor expenses. This is what budgeting is all about. I need to know where all the money is going to. Regularly review and update the budget to ensure accuracy and relevance. Use expense tracking tools to monitor spending patterns. Because we are so busy with running our daily activities. I go to work 9, come back 9. I'm tired already. I can't remember these figures. Do I scribble it down on a paper and put it in my pocket? I forget and take it to laundry. Do I have an Excel on my phone, an Excel sheet I can use to track the best time to capture this as you perform that transaction or before. A trick I do personally is, oh, I'm supposed to get X, get Y. I put it in my budget tracker and say, okay, Y is 3,000 naira. At the end of the day, Y can be 2,500 at the supermarket. All I need to do is to edit rather than creating afresh. Okay, I know I'm going to work. Oh, I transport every morning to work, roughly 3,000 naira for transport every day. I can impute everything for the week. And if it so happens on Wednesday, a colleague gives me a lift and I only spent 1,000, I'll only just go back for Wednesday and edit that input. So that way you're building that habit of updating your tracker. And it's so easy these days that you have 1,001 tracker, you set reminders and everything, and yours is just to input the button. So it's just tracking and monitoring becomes easier, right? Then reduce expenses and save. When I say save, I mean invest. Basically, you're saving on all these expenses. Okay, what do I do? Oh, my utility for a month is 40,000 naira. Awesome. I have 3 ACs. Now I have, remember, budgeting. I like to say this over because I've seen people compromising their quality of life just for them to budget and save. I have 3 ACs. Awesome. The one in the bedroom is on, the guest room is on, the one in the living room is on. Awesome. The house is cool, it's chilly. I'm doing Netflix. Then I asked myself, do I have a guest? No, my guest stepped out. Turn off AC. Oh, if you stay alone or you have family member, what are you doing? I'm watching a movie. I'm working on my system. Can we converge in one room in such a way I don't distract you? Can we do this in the room and turn off the AC in the living room? Or can we come to the living room and turn off the AC in the bedroom? I mean, these are little things, by the time you're conscious of that, then you're saving on your electricity bill indirectly. Or we use another example. I say in an estate, I'm going from Lekki to Marina. I have neighbors in estate who talk together on weekends. Oh, I would like to carpool with you this week. I don't want to drive. Next week, you can do the same. And this is we cutting down on fuel expense. Are we 4? Then we can run it for a month. So A takes us for this week, B takes us for next week, and the last week you take them carpool. Yes, I agree there might be some inconvenience. Oh, I don't leave for work on the night until 9 o'clock because I'm ITBs or stuff, or that's my resumption time, or I don't close until 10. So that's where you try to find a balance. So it means I have to inconvenience myself to wake up early to carry Mr. B that commutes to work at 7 a.m. or can I find a way to leave early just so to accommodate Mr. C that closes by 6 p.m.? I'm sure we get how this balance is coming, but it's not one size fits all. You know yourself better, you know environment, your abode, you know your finances and expenses. So you're actually in the best position, right? To try to identify how you can actually save. So actually what it says is if you check your expense as of last month, there's tendency you've gone 20% overboard. You can do it. It's the random statistics. Almost 9 or 8 out of 10 is accurate. You've gone 20% overboard. Because by the time you try to track this expense, then the question comes, is it necessary? Can I do without it? Or can this be moderated so I don't impair my quality of life, which is my keyword here? So by you identifying those tiny things, you're able to see, okay, how much have I been able to save? And the interesting about it is the moment you identify these expenses and you start cutting down, trust me, he gets to a point you have to caution yourself. Let me leave now. I earned this money because it's this habit. So after you build it and you see how much you save and you've invested, you've seen your first return, you get excited. It's the human mind, and you be like, "Oh wow, I invested 100,000 and got this. Can I make it 300,000 next month? How do I get the 200,000?" And you're back to your tracker to see, okay, whenever I buy fast food, I take fizzy drinks. I'm cutting out fizzy drink. I'll take water. One stone, two birds. I'm saving money, better health. See, the mind will find a way, right, to kind of break this down. You're able to actually identify that most of these expenses can be moderated, can be cut down at least if you don't want to take it out completely, right? Before I proceed to the next one, any questions so far? Observations? Am I speaking too fast? I'm kind of excited because I love this particular topic. So if I'm speaking too fast, apologies, but I'll take your feedback or if you have questions before we proceed. Okay, then it's safe to proceed. So yeah, it says tips for successful budgeting. Pay yourself first. This line is actually from one of my favorite book, Richest Man in Babylon. I have like 3 variation of the book. I don't know why. So the idea is I'm a salary earner. Come 25th, 26th, I earn my pay. Awesome. Then, of course, my car has been making one funny noise. I allocate funds. That is me paying my mechanic. Oh, I need to buy food at home, stock up in my kitchen. I'm paying the trader, right? Oh, my laundry, I need to sort it out. I pay the dry cleaner. I'm paying everybody. But the questions remain, have you paid yourself? You worked hard for the money. Why are you paying everybody but not yourself? So paying yourself is actually another term for investment. So this is what I'm saving. Come what me, I'm not touching this. I worked so hard. I earned this 500K, 100K is for me. You keep it aside. Then you now model your expenses or your lifestyle around remaining balance. That is the idea of paying yourself first, as against paying everybody, which is most of the mistake we'll do. I've earned my money. Oh, promise my long lost cousin 50K. You're paying your cousin. Have you paid yourself first? Pay yourself, then build the budget around what is left. Then prioritize debt repayment because debt comes with interest almost every time. So if my repayment is 50,000 every month with interest of 5,000, meaning in 5 months I'll be paying a principal of 250,000 and interest of 25,000 naira. Okay, what will it take for me to pay a lump sum for 3 months, which is 150,000, and save 10,000 naira on the interest I will be paying? That's prioritizing your debt. Oh, you know what? The money I use for we out here with the boys this month, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to set it for my debt. I'll save 5K on interest. Some people argue 5K is nothing now. The journey is so far, but I like to say 5K in a month, 60K, 5K in 2 years. By the time you try to play with number mentally, you're able to encourage yourself to see how big you can save on that expense. Then the last one is review and adjust regularly. Oh, this month total exposure for utility at home is 80,000. Next month is 70. What did I do differently? Is this sustainable? Yes. So you adjust that budget to 70. Or let me be realistic. This month you're able to do 80K on power, and next month you did 100. So you review and see, oh, I've shot this budget by 20,000 naira. What could I have done differently, or what happened? What changed? The utility people increase the amount per unit? No. Oh, what happened? Oh, I have a faulty microwave that I put on and drains the fire. Oh, my iron I'm using is 2,000 watt. Can a 1,000 watt iron serve the same purpose? But you see, okay, oh no, these things can be cut down. Then you change your budget from 80,000 to 100,000. That's the whole idea of review and adjust. For budgeting, some will go down, some will go up. Our goal is to maintain a balance, right? That's the whole thing about budgeting. So I just this will be a collective tax. Yes, please.
Sorry, so sorry to call you. So we have 3 questions, and I was just thinking before you go to the next thing, we
Okay,
can address.
awesome.
So they're very
Please bring it on.
interesting questions. The first one is, what is the right way to afford a vacation?
Oh wow, that's interesting. What is the right way to afford a vacation? No, now if you recall when I started, right, there's no one size fit all. So this is me answering this question as if it is me asking myself what is the best way to afford a vacation for me, right? The first question I ask myself is, how bad do I want this vacation? That is one. Then secondly, the destination. I work in Lagos. I hear Abuja is so quiet, or Bauchi is so quiet. They have the Yankari Reserve. I'm not spending a lot as against going to South Africa. What choice? The destination. That's another thing. Then the third one, am I going alone? Am I going with friends? Am I going with family? Right? Then the fourth one, can this be postponed? Can I try to match this vacation with a major milestone? Oh, I turned 30 in 2 months. I'm on leave now, right? Is there a way I can apportion, delay this vacation until my 30th birthday? So I join these milestones and say, hey, we're out here, it's my birthday. I'm going to South Africa. I'm going to Abuja. So those factors, it's what's actually built in to say, okay, can I take the vacation? Then the most important of all is, how much do I have that I can apportion to this vacation without distorting my goal? Remember, we started with goal. Oh, I need to buy a car in 1 year. I need to buy a house in 3 years. My retirement is in 10 years. I'm saving. So how much resources can you allocate to this vacation without distorting the progress you're making in your main goal? That's how I would do this personally. I don't know if I've done justice to that question. Hello, mic check.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Can I take the second question?
Yes, you can. Okay, so the second one is, what are the considerations for saving in Naira versus USD?
Okay. So, well, I don't like to. I'm finding a way to break this down so I don't go political or something, right? But I think before now, I'll say yes, you have every right to save in USD, not even USD, in foreign currency, and we know why. Cross currency fluctuation. I have 1,000 naira today, or let me just use the minimum. Naira against dollar. Today it sells for 700. Tomorrow is 750. Meaning, if I need to get dollar, I need to pump in more naira. So it only makes sense to change the bulk of your asset to that currency that is more stable. Not just dollar, it can be euro, can be pounds. So personally, me, I have some form of allocation I use for foreign currency. I have a card, I just dump it in. Sometimes I need funds, I just withdraw and sell. And in most cases, I make some kind of spread. I can buy at 750. When I need the money in 3 months, it's 760. I exchange and I get that. It's some form of saving, some form of investment. But coming from the recent happenings in the economic circle, the naira has been floated, so it's almost at par with the dollar, right? So now, when it comes to making spread, the spread is non-existent. So the next thing is, do I have a need for this foreign currency? Because the economy is, I wouldn't say volatile, but more like unstable. Do I want to secure the need for that USD or for that foreign currency now before I need it? Then I'll say, yes, go ahead and change some funds to USD or build it gradually over time. Okay, I know I want to go to South Africa July next year, right? Most likely settle my air ticket in dollar. Spending abroad is in dollar. Do I start buying $500 every month before July next year? That is 1 year. Or can I afford $1,000 every month? Some form of savings, but you're converting to another asset. Yes, I can now buy that dollar 1,000 every month rather than leave it lying idle. I put in some form of dollar savings, right? Dollar investment. So yes, I've secured the need for that currency and also earning, right? But now that naira and dollar is at par, I'll say if you don't have a strong need for that currency, I'll just stay and watch for now, at least for the next 90 days before you make such decision. And again, these are just my own personal observations. Okay, I'll take the third question.
Oh, can you hear me? I've been talking.
Oh no.
Sorry, I think my is bad.
You have to take
okay,
it
I was
yourself
just
again.
saying that. Yeah, I was just saying that I really like how you answered this question, and that's why you are the expert. Because personally, I like to save in USD and then invest in like the Naira options that I have. But I like your approach. The way you answered it was very spot on. Okay, so very quickly, the last question. Can you still hear me?
Go ahead, please, loud and clear.
Okay, so it says, how do you determine what proportion of your income should go to paying yourself?
Oh, awesome. I like that. How do you determine the proportion of what you should pay yourself, right? I'll take that question. But I like that question. So for me, what I do basically is I cut 10% for myself. I worked so hard. I work so hard. So whenever my income comes, I take the 10% and try to mirror my lifestyle to the remaining 90%. So I just assume that this 10%, if my pay is 500K, I mentally tell myself my pay is 400K. So I kind of build my life around that 400K. We're humans. We're built for survival, adaptability. We'll make that 400K work. So it depends on you. Now, you have a goal. So because you're paying yourself does not mean the money is hiding fallow. You're trying to create extra cushion for your investment. Mind you, we're using 500K as the basis here, 500,000. I took 100K to pay myself, right? Definitely I'm going to invest. Then out of the 400K I have, I'm still going to use my 50, 30, 20 rule on it. 50 for needs, 30 for wants, 20 for investment. So this is just a way of me achieving my goal quicker. But now remember, this is in relation to your needs, which is the most important. If I take out that 100,000 from the 500, I have 400. Now 50% of 400K is 200,000. Now, how realistic is it that this 200,000 will cater to my needs? Remember, I didn't talk about wants. If you know I can make this 200K work for my needs without compromising my quality of life, then go ahead. And even if you take out 100K and your needs, you end up spending 150, maybe it's time to adjust the amount you pay yourself. So it's kind of relational to a person. What is your need first? You check that vis-a-vis what you're paying yourself. You don't want to have money investing somewhere, and of course, you have something pressing you can't cater to. I mean, why do we work? We work to sustain ourselves, to enjoy life, and stuff like that. So that's how I'll put it.
Brilliant. Okay, so the last one, so we can move on.
Okay.
It says, how about saving in dollar through mutual funds?
Perfect, 100%. Whoever that person is, I'm actually clapping and wooing already. Yes. It's just the best solution. You have Naira, convert to dollar and invest. But I'll say caution. You know why I'll say caution? Because most of these dollar investments are not, how will I say it, are not readily liquid, at least going by statistics in the market. Most of them will tell you give 3 to 5 days for liquidation or to get access to your fund. So I want to advise you to take all your Naira and change it to USD, that when there's a pressing need, you're forced to break that investment, convert to Naira, to attend to your needs. So I'll say find a balance in everything. You want to do 60% dollar, 40% naira investment, and such that when you need these resources or you need the money back, they are easily accessible to you. So yes, it's a personal call, but I'll just say caution. You may want to break it. Now the ratio depends on you. I'm comfortable. I'm sure my cash need or my asset need aside my emergency. I'm sure this allocation in my naira will cater to it. If it's more than, is there a way I can get maybe family and friends loan to sort out that emergency or that need before I'm able to convert my investment back to naira? So this is totally dependent on you as a person. Yeah, but converting to USD, investing in a mutual fund, brilliant idea. Mutual fund, if it's a money market fund, or depending on the risk limits, if I'm doing 5% rates, then it's like saying your principal is guaranteed. And of course, why not? You earn more in foreign currency. Yes, please.
Awesome. Okay, so no other questions. We can carry on. Thank you, Steve.
Okay. So I switched my screen to an Excel sheet. Please confirm if you can see it.
We can see it.
Okay. What's the font like? Is it decent or should I increase? This is I have it on 100%. This is okay. Can we all see it? I'm considering those joining with your mobile devices.
Yeah, so some people are giving thumbs up and it's good on my mobile device. So I think we can.
Okay, awesome. So this next part, right, is actually the part where we get to talk. So feel free to unmute your mic if your background is quiet, right? So this is the famous battle between Socrates and Aristotle, the battle for survival. How do I determine my need versus want? Because a need to you might be a want to someone else, right? So what I did here was just to highlight the basic recurring categories, right? So you personally can now say, okay, this to me is a need, this to me is a want, and you categorize as appropriate, right? Because I love food. From my example, I love food. So my first category on my budget tracker, because in order not to make budgeting taxing, you can't say you want to have data for every scenario. So it would be good to have a group. Like for housing now, I have energy and utility. Energy can be outright for water and power, right? Utility can be for the security at home, or do I pay for maybe central power to pump water to the house? So I categorize that utility. So I don't have to say gate man salary, water, money for pumping water, money for this, So I just categorize under utility, right? Maintenance and repairs. It's the house. Oh, I have a dead bulb. That's repair, right? Oh, this switch is shaking. Whenever I plug my socket, it kind of sparks. You need to make allocation for maintenance, So I'm maintaining. I need to change it and all. I stay in a rented apartment. Of course, I need to make provision for rent. Then services. Do I have a cleaner that comes around? Or do I need somebody to tend to my garden? Do I need somebody, the small boy from the area that comes to wash my car every weekend? Those are services, you know. So there's provision for it under housing. Feel free to increase this category as much as you want to expand it. Then going back to food and drinks, I have restaurants, fine dining, I have fast food, I have groceries, I have food and drinks in general. So feel free to expand the way you want to. Then lifestyle, clothes, shoes, electronic accessories, home and garden. So basically, I categorize my phone, right? Because as a product person, you like to sample your products on two major ecosystems. So I do both Android and iPhone, right? But to me, it's a want, not a need. So I categorize it under lifestyle as an accessory, is an accessory to me. But of course, do I need a phone in this age and time to communicate? Yes. So some people will argue, yes, phone is a need, right? Then what type of phone we now determine, is it a want or a need? Yes. Then home and garden. Home. Oh, I need to make my house cozy. Do I need to get maybe air freshener from the mall, or do I need to get that central carpet? Do I need to get a bookshelf? So they tend to be under your lifestyle. It's actually improving your lifestyle. So you can get other categories. In fact, let's try to do a mental exercise. So if I had to increase this lifestyle column, what other two items do you think I should add under lifestyle? I want it to be as engaging as possible.
Gym membership.
Gym membership. Awesome. I like that, right? But I put it under life and entertainment. Yeah. For you, right? You can put it under lifestyle. Some people go to the gym for, oh, I need to look trim and all. Some go to gym for health issues, so they can put it under health, depending on how this affects them. But yes, you're spot on. So I have one gym membership. Which other one? Hello, house. I know
So
we
for
know
me, I would
this thing.
say
Yeah, go ahead,
my
Chidar.
network is, yeah, I wanted to say typing and my giving. So I do this, like contribute to like health projects or um things in church,
Yeah,
basically. So I
yeah.
the lifestyle.
So I'll just do this as faith. Right, so it can be a lifestyle giving. Although I have charity and give under lifestyle and entertainment, life and entertainment, education and all that here. So this is how this is applicable to me. For housing, do you have something I left out? I'm trying to get the basic one. So the idea of this exercise is when we get back home after this call, we can actually drop our Excel or pen and paper and you're trying to at least categorize your spending. We're tracking our expenses. So for housing, did I leave out anyone? We have maintenance, repair. Yeah, the
So
good
to
thing
pay
is,
staff.
oh, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, please.
So no worries. I was going to say to pay staff. So like your gardener or your to the people that
Yeah.
work for you. So it's not services.
Yeah, under services. They render services to me. I'm paying for their services.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my house help or my driver, they go under services. The idea is they render a service to me. So in the future, I got someone to maybe inflate my tire on the road. You can put it under car maintenance or you render the service, you can lock it under services, depending. But in order to just get that category to be broad enough so I don't have to type every detail, I can decide, oh, they render the service and I lump it under housing. Then we have transportation, long distance, usually for flight, bus, taxi, then I broke it down separate vehicle because if I put vehicle here, I'll be doing it justice because I need to buy fuel. Sometimes I need to pay for parking. I have insurance. I have maintenance and repairs for the vehicle. So I like to track for the car alone. So in a month, I can say, you know what, I spend a lot on this car. I think I should use taxi or Bolt for now. So it helps you to compare both available options to get around in general. So life and entertainment, we have gym, books. Hello,
Subscription.
you said?
Sir. Yarrow says club subscription. So maybe
Yeah,
like
club.
Ikoyi Club.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That will come under life and entertainment for me. But feel free to put it where it's appropriate for you. Club subscription. So yeah, that's a beautiful one. I better tell Yarrow, I'd like to meet him after. I'm building my network. I heard the Koyi Club. Yeah, I'm cool like that.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So when making this plans and everything,
Yes,
we know that the Nigerian economy is very unstable, the hike of
yes,
things right now. So for example, we already have our 80-20 rule, which is 50, 30, and 20, right?
yes,
So
please.
how do we make provisions for example, we buy on a regular, we've been, but let's say this is just give an example, we've been buying
Okay.
fuels, let's say for 200 per liter, and out of nowhere, the
You go to
fuel goes up to
480.
500, right?
Yes,
And because we're sticking to the 80-20 rule, right? How do you make plans for that extra? Because for you actually need fuel, you need food because the price of food right now today is extremely high, right?
yes,
So how do you save? I know they say save for rainy days, right?
yes,
But how
yeah.
do you save for these things that you know that you need and you must make provisions for? You have to buy them.
Awesome. That's a very interesting and engaging question. So the first one for me, right, will be how do I increase my income? I do 9 to 5, right? I work on a bank. What other services do I have that I can offer to earn more income? Am I a public speaker? Do I want to find gigs that I speak and get paid even though it's 10K or 20K before I make it to 100K? Oh, I'm very good with maybe, how will I put it? I'm a handy guy. Oh, my faucet is broken on my flat. No problem, Paddy. I can check it for you. I give you my bill. That will have been, well, I'll say, a theoretical response. Grow your income. But again, we're back to Nigeria reality. That might not be easily accessible. I work 9 to 5. I just want to sleep on Saturday. I don't want to take out that extra gig, right? Then it comes back home. Among all these lists we have here, which one is going or which one do I reduce? Okay, I pay monthly gym subscription, 100,000. Do I go to gym every day? Yeah, some people go every day. You ask yourself, oh no, I go Wednesdays because I get close early from work. I do Saturday evening. That's twice a week, but I paid monthly subscription. Do I change my subscription to weekly subscription? Or do I do pay as you go, meaning I pay only when I go? Some people will argue that the monthly subscription is cheaper vis-a-vis when you take the daily subscription and multiply it by 30, right? So the idea is what we call, sorry, I digress, is what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's how they design these prices and supermarket everywhere. Because the human mind is looking for where to make a steal. So you say in a month I pay 80K, in a week I'm paying 25K. As against 20K, if you divide the 80 by 4, right? They'll say, okay, a week subscription is 25K. And you're like, oh no, for 4 weeks, that's 100K. But if I pay bulk, I'm saving 20K. Our mind is designed to function that way. But now you ask yourself, I paid for a month. Do I come every day? No. How often do I come? 2. So I'm going to pay per week, which is 25K. So vis-a-vis your monthly subscription, 80 minus 25, you have saved 55,000. Then, so that is one example. Or if say, okay, I go twice a week for the whole month, that is 100,000. Say that I saved money. My next question will be, do you need to go the last week? Or do you want to do other outside the gym exercise? If I'm at work, I won't take the elevator, I'll take the stairs. It's all about keeping fit. Or you know what? I'm going to do from my estate to the gates. Maybe just in the morning or late in the evening, just take a walk around my estate. I have a pedometer I can use to track. I do 5,000 steps every day. Can I increase to 10,000 so I don't need to use the gym that often? So it's kind of relational. So you come back here. Technically, if you can't increase our income, which is the easiest way, right? So you come back now and check other things here. Am I spending too much on gym? Am I giving out too much? Some people will argue it's good to give, it's hard, you need to help people. But like the Japanese will say, Kintosori, you can't give from an empty bowl. You need to take care of yourself first before you can give. Then you can look at this charity and gifts. What am I giving out? Okay, I try to do, I can't even remember. Sometimes I do 50, sometimes I do 60. Can we do 40? I'm not saying don't give, we're not moderating. Oh, education. I have 10 Udemy courses I bought, I've only finished 2. Do I need those 8 courses? Do I need to buy more? Oh, there's a course I need for career development and all that. I agree, we need to grow. But check your time. How realistic? If you pay for this virtual course, will you be attending it now? Do you want to push it like maybe next 3 months and try to clear your schedule? Then you can cut the cost. So you get the idea. We have just to come back to this sheet and try to manage 5% here, 2% there, 3% there, just so we balance. And hey, food is important. I want to start dieting. I'm only doing breakfast and dinner. I'm going out lunch just to save money. But remember, my keyword has always been, you're trying to make this budget to save in such a way that does not compromise your quality of life. Yeah, so I don't know if I've done justice to your question.
Yeah, to an extent.
Okay. To an extent. Yeah,
Yeah.
then you can contribute to the others, it's a learning ground actually.
So I know. So basically I'm saying this is basically alternative forgone. So like you have to let go of one, right? And what if I don't want to? I'm just saying, why don't we from the get-go make some sort of percentage for these costs that might come up? Do you understand? I'm just saying, that's just, why not plan ahead as opposed to just having to, because what if my table is not this long? I'm a very simple person, right?
Awesome.
And I don't do a lot of these things. And there's some things that are on my list that I cannot just do without. I know that, just like you said, we should try our best not to, compromise our
the
own
quality of life.
yeah. So I'm just saying, is it not okay to, from the get-go, from the beginning of your planning or budgeting, make some sort of budget, even if it's just 10% out of either from your 50 or 30, right? Let's say, okay, investment is untouchable, which is the 20%. If at all, investment should increase. The percentage of investment should probably increase. But I agree that for my own part, I would say investment percentage should be untouchable, but at least save 10% from the others.
I agree with you.
Instead of,
I agree. Thank you for that input. So if I get it correctly, we're just creating a space for miscellaneous, and we can increase miscellaneous here. Not necessarily that I have to spend it, but I have that cushion.
Exactly. And if at the end you don't spend it, that's more money for you.
Thank you very much for that. That works fine. That works just fine. Please, you still have the cushion.
So
you have this money here.
I just wanted to contribute to what Ella said. So when you told us earlier that you gave the example of if we earn 500,000, for example, we can just condition our minds to think that we earn 400,000 and then set aside the 100,000 for ourselves, right? So I feel like if we make that setting aside that money for ourselves and make it a habit and consistently do it, then it could serve as that cushion, right? And coupled with some of the other things. So if we become if we make it a habit to invest the dividends that we get from our investments, we want to put it back, or we want to add it to the 100,000 that we're setting aside, I feel like that on its own could be a cushion, and she also said something, knowing that these things can happen, because we cannot foretell that government will come up with
some policies.
So these things can happen overnight, like the fuel one happened overnight. So knowing that these things can happen should spur us to set that vex money aside just in case.
I love that term, vex money.
So I like that she brought that up, and I like that we already answered that question, but it's nice that we know that 100,000 that we're setting aside can be used for this miscellaneous. That's what we say, pay yourself first. But I mean, just knowing that money is there, like you mentioned, sleep well money. Knowing that money is there makes you sleep well, makes you know that nothing can frazzle you. You're fine.
That's interesting. I like that. This class is actually interesting. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to log up to my digital budget tracker just for recommendation. I know we have 5 minutes on the clock, so I'm just trying to project that so we can stick to time. But while I'm trying to get my screen to come up, Chitra, I don't know if you still have the Excel templates I shared with you one time. If we'll be willing to give that to the house in general, so we don't have to start budgeting from scratch. So I'm projecting my screen again. Let me know when you can see it.
We can see. I can see it.
Okay. So this is just an expense tracker put together under Excel. It's going to be difficult to say you want to track everything manually, biro paper and all. So you can have this either in your phone or your system, just so you have a view. So similar to the one I displayed earlier, the category, I have housing, I have entertainment, I have transport, I have loans, insurance, taxes, food, pets, gifts and donations, personal care, legal. Feel free to expand these categories as you want. And if you go to Excel, normally just to add the sum to the total here, right? So, but the idea is once you impute here, it impacts on your total base. Let me see if I can change this to 500. Okay, so I have my projected balance as impacted here. It's kind of, we try to put a formula inside to make it easy. And if I come to housing and say, hey, my cost here is 400, for instance, I want to see if this is the right one. I need to say, So what this basically means is my difference or my actual balance has been impacted vis-a-vis what I projected. For entertainment, I just try to pull some together: Netflix, DSTV, Amazon Prime. Some people, even entertainment to them just hanging out with friends on a weekend. Some form of entertainment doesn't have to be digital. But Chidera has the sheet, the Excel, and she'll be sharing with us after this. We can play around with it just so we have like a foundation of where to start. Then secondly, on recommendation, there's this wallet by Budget Bakers. It's a wonderful app I've been using for some time. I think this able to get a dummy account, just load data on it. So it allows you to kind of just headline all your source of income, banks and all that where you have them, right? Then you have analytics, which makes it interesting. So you at any point in time, you're able to see income and expense report instead of the Excel where you have to some form of manipulation. It goes as far as if I want to check for the last 30 days, what's my income versus expense, right? If I say last 90 days, for instance, it's going to tell me this is April to June. So total income is here. This is total expense. So tells you already expense is more than income. We didn't save anything, right? You just have, if you want to see it in week, or what did I do for last week? 7th. What was the income against what I spent? So for last week was just balling, spending. There's no income, right? But the spending also has categories. Food and drink is here already covered. Transportation is here. Life entertainment. Okay, we need to question this guy. What happened on the life and entertainment? Communication, financial expenses, hospital. So the app already kind of captured the day-to-day categories, right? And it gives you room to kind of extend if you want. So this is the one I find more flexible and friendly as against Excel. So they all have the app on both Android and iOS. You can download, create an account. And the good thing is free. I think it allows you to put like 4 or 5 banks on your dashboard. Then you can make provision for cash, transfer funds between bank and wallet, which is your cash, or from your cash to bank. You have practically covered most of the categories where you impute your data. Just add, you want to add. So what am I adding? Bank account, import. No, let me go under records. I want to add a record. So is this an expense? Is this an income or transfer? Or say an expense from what account? Is it from my cash? Is it from bank? Or let's do bank amount. 10K. Choose a category, transportation, then it goes further. Is it taxi, public transport, long distance, taxi? You have a label. Is it a want? Is it need? I created a label called frivolous. For those days, I tell myself, I worked so hard. I deserve this. I convince myself to buy what I don't need. And down the week, I click on frivolous and I see and I tell myself, and I had that pep talk with myself, see yourself, did we really need that and all that? So you can go outside and put a note, bold to, let's say, Aso Rock, just for the fun of it. Yep, payment type, transfer, debit card, just so by the time you come to analysis, the analytics really helps to break it down, right? Payment cleared, place name of address. And another funny thing is it kind of helps me like a reminder. Oh, I got something at Miniso. I don't know the name, right? And somebody says, I like this thing. How much you get it? I can't really recall. I just go back to my data here and search for Miniso and it pops up. And I got it XYZ amount on Miniso. Sometimes I use it to track medication. Or I bought this thing. When am I supposed to get the next one? I'll just go to that data, search for the name and say, oh, awesome. I bought it 3 weeks ago. I need another one in 2 weeks. So you should try. There are a lot of wallets. If you go to your app store or Play Store and you type budget apps, you see a lot. But I've used this over time and I am kind of comfortable with it. So you may want to try that too. Right. So where do I have this? Okay, awesome. Back to this place, right? So these are the resources we used together to put the presentation. Thank you so much for this, Chidinma. Part of the book this was extracted from. If you want to read further, you have Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I think you have free copy on EPUB and the other format for ebook. You have mint.com, a popular budgeting app that helps. Then also I said Wallet by Budget Bakers. It has both the app version and the web version. Also, you need a budget. It's this also a budgeting tool and methodology is designed to help users gain control over their finances. Excuse me. So just feel free to hit Google and get these resources, right? Just to conclude, I see I've shot 2 minutes over time. I apologize, but it's been an interesting session. So budgeting is actually a fundamental skill for beginner investors, helping them gain financial control and work towards their investment goals. By following these steps and utilizing available resources, investors can build a strong financial foundation and achieve long-term success. But I like I always say, is not a one size fits all. You know yourself better, you know your expenses. So find a way to just create a balance without compromising the quality of life. So say thank you so much for having me today. I look forward to next week where we discuss risk in investment. Thank you so much, Chidera. You can take it from here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saeed. And thank you to everyone that attended. So we would share the recording and the slides, and you'd also get the Excel sheet, or would share the link to Budget Bakers. So the Excel sheet would help you manually, put in your expenses, and you can see everything. But Budget Bakers is more like an Excel sheet 2.0, where it just automates everything for you. I know we're selling the brand for like another business, but it has really helped a lot of people, and we'll just encourage you guys to begin to use the app or the Excel sheets. So we have a retrospective class where you can ask Saeed. We're hoping that this class would be very practical, where you can you use another device and then follow Saeed as he's showing you, how to, for example, use Budget Bakers. But we're over time, and we don't want to keep you guys for too long. So there's a retrospective class where you can ask Saeed questions based on your practical sessions with either Budget Bakers or the Excel sheets. And then if you've started doing any investments on Vested, or if you have any other investment questions, you can ask Saeed those questions. So that class would just be where Saeed is attending to your questions and your concerns. Next week's class, like Saeed said, would be on risk management. So risk management is really important. You need to know that investing comes with risks. And so he's just going to break down the risk management for you, so that when you're going into investing, you're going in informed. But next week's class will start by 12 p.m. and will end by 1 p.m. And I also look forward to it. Thank you. I can see the messages coming in the chat. So we'll end the class today. If you have any questions, you can keep it for next week, or you can send us an email, send us a DM on any of our social media accounts, or send an email to hello@vested, and we'll address them. Thank you so much for joining today's class. We'll see you next week.